Once bitter rivals, these underworld bosses now share an intimate moment as one tends to the other's wounds. This is because the female boss, Li Yuan, has unexpectedly lost her memory, and the male boss, Gu Xingye, is taking advantage of the situation, claiming to be her husband. Unbeknownst to her, this man is her sworn enemy from before her amnesia. Instead of running away, the injured Li Yuan throws herself into the man's arms, nuzzling against his washboard abs. Waking up with such a handsome husband feels like winning the lottery. Of course, she has to enjoy it. Just moments ago, Li Yuan awoke in the hospital room, discovering her complete memory loss. Before she could collect herself, she was subjected to a sudden, mysterious attack. Relying on her muscle memory, she dodged the first wave of the assault. Just as she prepared to counterattack, she realized the assailant wasn't a pushover. Not only did he flawlessly evade her, but he also played dirty by pulling out a gun. Just when she thought she was defenseless, a gunshot rang out. A man suddenly appeared, killing Li Yuan's attacker with a single shot. Li Yuan, still shaken, demanded to know the man's identity. He smirked, "That you forgot me already? I'm your husband." Li Yuan, looking at the handsome man who seemingly appeared out of nowhere, blushed and threw herself into his arms, rubbing against his 8-pack abs. "I have such a handsome husband. Husband, why did you take so long to save me?" The man's face paled. "This. I said it, and you just believed me? You didn't even question it." Li Yuan stared at him, starry-eyed. "Of course, I believe you. Someone as handsome as you wouldn't lie to me." Her expression then shifted, though internally, "I'm sweating bullets. I want to question you, but you have a gun." The next moment, the pain from her wound caused Li Yuan to collapse into the man's arms. Before losing consciousness, she continued her performance, murmuring, "Help me, husband. I'll be good." She was alone and vulnerable, and this man didn't seem malicious. Relying on him seemed like a good option for now. "Will you really be good?" Li Yuan's vulnerability triggered a memory for Gu Xingye. Li Yuan's voice. "Who do you think you are? Why should I listen to you? Get out of my way. Otherwise, I don't know what I'll do. From now on, you go your way, and I'll go mine. We're even." Snapping back to reality, Gu Xingye stared at the vulnerable woman in his arms. The next second, he raised his gun to Li Yuan's head. "That I won't trust you again. After all, only dead people are truly obedient." But the bullet didn't hit Li Yuan. Instead, it hit another assailant attempting a sneak attack. "How dare you? Try another sneak attack." After dealing with the attacker, Gu Xingye's men arrived. He ordered them to clean up the scene and take the assailant back for questioning. Then, one of his men noticed the unconscious Li Yuan and offered to finish her off. But Gu Xingye immediately stopped him. "Don't touch her. I still have use for her." His man looked at him incredulously. "But this woman injured most of our brothers." Gu Xingye's voice was laced with menace. "I said, don't touch her. Don't make me repeat myself." The next day, Li Yuan awoke from a nightmare. Seeing herself unharmed, she was relieved that her gamble had paid off. The man truly meant her no harm. "Good morning, wife." Turning towards the voice, the sight before her made Li Yuan's blood rush. This. "Do I really have such a handsome husband?" She instantly switched to infatuated mode. "Good morning, husband. Aren't you cold dressed like that?" The next moment, the man moved closer, his cool breath washing over her. "Wife, did you remember anything today?" Li Yuan shyly looked down. "No, not only you, but I don't even remember my own name." "I'm sorry." The man gently caressed her face. "Your name is Li Yuan. You're my wife. I'm your husband, Gu Xingye. You don't dislike this convenient husband of yours, do you?" Li Yuan was too shy to look up. The pain from her wound began to throb again. Gu Xingye asked gently about it and offered to tend to it before the doctor arrived. After speaking, he put his hands on Li Yuan's shoulders. Li Yuan tensed up, shy, but didn't dare to move. "Do we really not need to wait for the doctor to examine me?" "Relax. We're already husband and wife. I personally tattooed your back. I know every inch of your body. This isn't our first time either." The man undressed Li Yuan. His hands kept touching more of her skin. Although it wasn't their first time, Li Yuan, for some reason, was so shy she couldn't speak. Was it because of her amnesia? Subconsciously, Li Yuan reached out. "You liar." Hearing this, the man nibbled on Li Yuan's earlobe, whispering, "What's wrong? Why am I a liar? Did you remember something?" He'd said he was applying medicine, but he was actually testing her. Li Yuan, in her state of vulnerability, felt a flicker of awareness. She quickly changed her attitude, "That I didn't remember anything. But those abs are distracting. Are you done applying the medicine yet? You said you were going to treat my wounds. How much longer are you going to dawdle? Li Yuan keenly sensed that applying medicine was a pretense. Testing her was the real goal. She decided to play along. Although she didn't remember anything, her muscle memory told her she couldn't completely relax her guard around this seemingly harmless man. After the medicine was applied, they sat at the dining table for breakfast. Gu Xingye continued to maintain his doting husband persona, serving Li Yuan breakfast. Li Yuan, on the one hand, was unconsciously succumbing to his gentle charm. On the other hand, she felt something was amiss. Not only were her utensils plastic, but Gu Xingye's two subordinates were also full of hostility towards her. So she pretended to stand up and reached for Gu Xingye's metal cutlery. This casual action immediately made the man tense. The two subordinates also instantly became alert, adopting defensive postures. Li Yuan quickly adjusted her demeanor. "I my plastic cutlery, not cutting the meat? Can I borrow yours?" The air froze for a moment. Then the man slowly said, "Of course. I'm sorry, my dear. It was my oversight. I should have cut it for you beforehand." Li Yuan responded with a smile. But judging from this man's reaction and the attitude of his two subordinates, she could basically confirm that this man was not her husband. If he were simply an enemy, she wouldn't be alive now. The most urgent task was to figure out what this man wanted from her. While Li Yuan was still thinking, a huge explosion shattered the windows, the blast rushing towards them. Gu Xingye quickly shielded Li Yuan behind him. While Gu Xingye's men fought off the attackers, Li Yuan gripped the small knife she had just obtained. If she stabbed the man, she could escape in the chaos. But was it worth it? She had nowhere else to go. Suddenly, another explosion hit. The man again shielded her with his strong arms. Li Yuan looked at the man. His hand was stained with blood. "That you're injured." But the man's expression remained light. "That it's nothing. Just a scratch." Why would this man, who had no connection to her, protect her so recklessly? Could he really be her lover? Just then, a pink-haired woman appeared outside the window, perched in a tree with a rifle. "Li Yuan, I know you're in there. Get the hell out here." She raised her 98K and fired wildly into the house. But this fierce attack revealed something to Li Yuan. The bullets were rubber. If she was meant to be killed, why use rubber bullets? Was this another one of Gu Xingye's tests? Outside, the pink-haired woman's subordinate urged her to stop. "The people attacking Gu Xingye are coming out." The pink-haired woman realized she was outmatched. Gritting her teeth, she ordered a retreat. The four of them ran, panting. The subordinate was puzzled. Why did we risk doing such a pointless thing? For the boss, of course. The boss is in Gu Xingye's house. I had to create chaos to help her escape. It turned out the pink-haired woman was one of Li Yuan's subordinates from before her amnesia. Li Yuan had not only saved her, but also dealt with everyone who had bullied her. She had also taken her in and taught her how to stand up for herself. Such a strong boss must still be alive. She must have fallen for Gu Xingye's scheme. I have to save her. Meanwhile, Li Yuan was cleaning Gu Xingye's wound when she noticed an old scar near his tattoo. She stared, lost in thought, a sense of alarm rising within her. Gu Xingye immediately noticed the thoughtful look on Li Yuan's face. "What are you looking at?" So engrossed. This casual question, however, made Li Yuan sense a slight probing. She quickly composed herself, putting on a love-struck expression. "Of course, I'm admiring my husband's gorgeous physique." Unable to discern anything from this, Gu Xingye suggested they go change clothes. Soon, the two arrived at the walk-in closet. Li Yuan thought that if they were truly husband and wife, there would definitely be traces of herself in the closet. But when she opened the wardrobe, she was dumbfounded. Inside the wardrobe were not only school uniforms completely inappropriate for her age, but also sweet little mini-skirts she would never wear. Turning to the other side, she was even more shocked. Rows of various sexy lingerie filled the space. Were these outrageous clothes? Gu Xingye's preferences were truly beyond her comprehension. Leaning against the door, Gu Xingye watched her flustered reaction with an ambiguous look. "Remembering anything, wife?" "Remember what?" Li Yuan was puzzled. "That piece of clothing holds our most precious memory. It was from our first time." It turned out Gu Xingye was referring to a time when they were children, shopping together, and Li Yuan picked out a white t-shirt for him. It was the first piece of clothing Li Yuan had ever bought for him. However, Li Yuan mistakenly thought he was referring to the barely there lingerie before her. Realizing his mistake, Gu Xingye broke out in a cold sweat. He quickly explained that they didn't usually live here. It was just a suburban villa relatively safe, and he had his subordinates furnish it with random clothes. He immediately changed the subject, saying he wanted to check Li Yuan's hand injury. But while ostensibly checking it, he kissed her without hesitation. As they continued checking, they became entangled. This was unfortunate for the poor subordinate who came to report that the doctor had arrived. He not only received a glare from Gu Xingye, but was also forced to witness their public display of affection. The scene changed. The doctor was analyzing Li Yuan's condition. The amnesia wasn't serious. Her memory should return within 6 months to 2 years. However, Li Yuan felt that was a long time. If it really took 1 or 2 years, she didn't know what other trouble she might encounter with Gu Xingye. After seeing the doctor off, Gu Xingye seemed displeased. Li Yuan nervously observed them. Suddenly, she noticed them engaging in a secretive, private exchange. The doctor handed Gu Xingye an unlabeled bottle of pills. Li Yuan quickly pretended to stumble upon them and asked what they had been discussing. Unexpectedly, Gu Xingye didn't try to hide it. He handed her the bottle directly. The doctor said this nourishes the brain nerves and helps restore memory. Here, take one. It doesn't even have a label. Who would take this? Li Yuan couldn't control her expression. At this moment, Gu Xingye seemed like a ghost to her. But in the next second, she quickly adjusted her demeanor and cautiously asked, if it's just a supplement, why doesn't it have a label? Gu Xingye's face turned cold, his expression unchanging. Suddenly, he leaned down close to Li Yuan's ear and whispered, finally remembered? It's poison. Li Yuan panicked, her mind racing to figure out how to respond. But then Gu Xingye chuckled softly. Just kidding, wife. Did I scare you? This reaction surprised Li Yuan. I'm your loving husband. Why would I harm you? It was true. If Gu Xingye wanted to kill her, he could have done it directly. He didn't need to wait until now. Unless he wanted to turn her into a fool or had even crueler methods in mind. Thinking of this, Li Yuan felt a splitting headache. Her post-amnesia sharpness wasn't as good as before, and there was definitely something wrong with Gu Xingye. She could only wait and carefully probe him later. The scene shifted. Gu Xingye brought Li Yuan downstairs to rest. Directly and indirectly, he kept reminding Li Yuan to take the medicine. Li Yuan remained hesitant about the unlabeled pills and didn't make a move to take them. What's wrong? Still don't want to take it. Gu Xingye suddenly moved closer. Oh, you need me to feed it to you personally? He popped a capsule into his mouth and swiftly leaned down, getting closer and closer to Li Yuan, close enough that they could clearly feel each other's breath. Li Yuan stopped him, desperately trying to escape. Her frantic struggle startled Gu Xingye. The image of Li Yuan walking away, without looking back, flashed before his eyes. Suddenly, his expression changed drastically. He grabbed Li Yuan's wrist, pinning it above her head, and leaned down, pressing his weight against her. She bit his lips hard, her kiss deepening, moving downwards, greedily exploring more of his skin. Li Yuan struggled, accidentally pulling at her wound and crying out in pain. Hearing her cry, Gu Xingye instantly snapped back to his senses. Sorry, did I hurt you? Li Yuan blushed, turning her head away, her eyes filled with reproach and embarrassment. Gu Xingye looked down at her, his dull eyes shadowed by his hair. Sorry, I remembered some unpleasant things. I lost control. Rest. Gu Xingye finished speaking and left, leaving Li Yuan alone in the room, dazed. Her lips still tingled from the touch. They had gotten so far, but he stopped, worried about her injury. What exactly had happened between them? The man left the house to run some errands. The woman was closely guarded by 4 burly men. Who would have thought that this despondent woman was once a formidable underworld boss? Her subordinates heard that their boss was imprisoned in their rival's house. They couldn't help but imagine the humiliation she was about to suffer. They immediately grabbed their rifles, ready to rescue her. Meanwhile, Li Yuan was still matching wits with the 4 burly guards. Even a simple trip to the bathroom was strictly monitored. One guard nervously pulled out a gun. The bald one showed off his unique apple-peeling skills, but the tip of his knife kept blatantly testing whether Li Yuan would react. Another subordinate brought her a cup of specially prepared, nourishing flower tea. But before she could even bring it to her lips, she immediately sensed something was wrong with it. She had to excuse herself by saying it was too hot. All these signs made it clear to Li Yuan that she was in a precarious situation. She didn't know how many people in this room wanted to harm her. Meanwhile, Gu Xingye was still in a business meeting when he received a sudden call from one of his men at home. His expression changed drastically as he answered. He abandoned his business partner and left without looking back. The Mediterranean elder, who had just been friendly with him, suddenly revealed a sinister smile. Back at the house, Li Yuan had dismissed the 4 guards in sunglasses, preparing to go upstairs for a breather. But the moment she left their surveillance, a gun was pressed against her forehead. Upon receiving the news of Li Yuan's assassination attempt, Gu Xingye rushed back in a frenzy. Without a word, he charged upstairs to check on Li Yuan. But when he opened the door, he was stunned. Not only was Li Yuan unharmed, but she was sitting on the bed, leisurely eating potato chips. Looking at Gu Xingye's bewildered expression, Li Yuan teased, "What, are you disappointed I'm not injured?" Gu Xingye casually denied it, but for some reason, he felt a sense of relief. Li Yuan patted the empty space beside her, gesturing for him to sit down so she could explain. It turned out that Li Yuan had indeed been shot at, but at that moment, she hadn't felt any fear. Instead, a primal excitement surged within her. Relying on her muscle memory, she dodged the bullet in 0.5 seconds, like a bloodthirsty wild animal. Something within her seemed to awaken. With a single, effortless move, she countered and killed her attacker. Pressing her advantage, she tried to subdue the assailant, but he threw a smoke bomb. Li Yuan, her heart pounding, could only watch as the attacker escaped. After she finished recounting the events, Gu Xingye stared at her with a strange expression. Li Yuan asked, puzzled, "Why are you looking at me like that? So, you just let him get away? Didn't see his face at all?" "Of course not. I'm lucky to be alive, okay? That's a shame. Seems like there are some rats hiding in my house." With that, Gu Xingye stood up to leave. "Since you're fine, get some rest." Li Yuan frowned and stopped him that I almost got shot. "Aren't you going to offer any comfort?" Hearing this, Gu Xingye turned back, looking at her with an ambiguous expression. In the next second, he suddenly moved closer to Li Yuan, towering over her. A generous hand floated towards Li Yuan's lips, offering comfort. "I don't think you need this kind of thing. Just as you said, the burning, wild, animalistic instinct within you, that's what you truly need." Li Yuan quickly turned her head away, dodging the hand. She was about to deny the statement. But in the next second, Gu Xingye pinned her to the bed, her arms held above her head. A familiar scene. "It seems you rather enjoy this kind of play, don't you?" Li Yuan struggled, flushed with shame. "Let me go. What if I don't? Then I'll kick your little something to pieces." With this threat, the ambiguous atmosphere instantly plummeted to freezing. "See? I told you, you don't need comfort." Later that night, as Li Yuan was about to fall asleep, a gleaming blade suddenly hovered above her head. Gu Xingye looked at the sleeping woman's face. Li Yuan, is this act you're putting on real, or are you truly asleep? If only you could stay like this forever. The blade swiftly descended towards Li Yuan, but stopped abruptly just above her neck and shoulder. She really is asleep. "Good night, wife." Gu Xingye turned and left. But in a corner she couldn't see, Li Yuan's hand tightly gripped the bedsheet. Was Gu Xingye just trying to kill me? The next morning, Gu Xingye was gone. Her right-hand man, Hua Juanze, investigated the previous night's attempted assassination with Li Yuan. After interviewing the last subordinate, Hua Juanze said to Li Yuan, "Whenever things involve you, boss seems to lose her composure." Hearing this, Li Yuan seized the opportunity to voice her doubts. "Did something unpleasant happen between Gu Xingye and me in the past?" Hua Juanze lowered his head, his expression somber. "You and boss were once inseparable. But something happened. You hurt her deeply. You betrayed boss." No wonder Gu Xingye always harbored a strange resentment towards her. Gu Xingye never forgave betrayal. Then am I doomed? Li Yuan pressed on, wanting to ask if she had cheated. After all, with such a handsome wife, she had no reason to. Had she perhaps grown tired of gourmet food and wanted change of pace? Just then, the next subordinate on the list to be questioned about the assassination attempt entered. Li Yuan, realizing the timing was off, decided to wait until the investigation was over to pry more useful information out of them. However, after questioning several people, they were either packing their belongings or using the restroom. Both knew the security cameras in the public areas had been destroyed, making it impossible to obtain any solid evidence at this stage. So, Juanze decided to end the day's investigation and advised Li Yuan to rest. Seeing her chance, Li Yuan prepared to ask about the details of her supposed infidelity. But Hua Juanze quickly slipped away. That evening, Gu Xingye returned home to find Li Yuan busy in the kitchen. Not only did Li Yuan greet her with a smile, but she also served up a plate of sweet and sour pork ribs she had made herself, inviting Gu Xingye to try them. Looking at the disastrous state of the kitchen, Gu Xingye couldn't help but wonder if there had been another assassination attempt and Li Yuan had successfully dealt with the assassin. Were the ribs in front of her a new method of disposing of the body? But Li Yuan simply looked at her with bright eyes, as if showing off the fruits of her hard work. Although Gu Xingye was already sweating profusely, she couldn't bring herself to refuse. She picked up a rib and tasted it, chewing thoughtfully before swallowing. Li Yuan immediately looked at her expectantly, asking how it tasted. Gu Xingye's eyes seemed to hold something unfathomable. Licking her finger as if savoring the lingering flavor, she said, "Delicious." Overjoyed, Li Yuan looked up to ask another question. But in the next second, Gu Xingye suddenly leaned in close to her ear, whispering, "Truly delicious. Will you make them for me again?" Before Li Yuan could react, Gu Xingye told her to rest, saying she had things to attend to. After Gu Xingye left, Li Yuan was left deep in thought. She picked up a rib and put it in her mouth, wondering, "Gu Xingye, what did I do to betray you that you're still so tolerant of me?" Gu Xingye, after leaving, entered a secret room. Inside was the assassin who had attacked Li Yuan at the hospital. "Still haven't gotten him to talk?" "Not yet, boss. He'd rather die than speak." "So, who ordered him to assassinate Li Yuan at the hospital?" "You don't really think your silence will save you, do you? Do you think your organization will let you go? I'll give you one day to think it over. Let's go, Junza." After saying this, the two of them left without looking back. But at this moment, a pair of feet stealthily stepped into this forbidden zone. "So they hid you in the dungeon of this secret chamber. Don't blame me. I'm just doing my job for my employer." After saying this, the insignificant traitor took a knife and walked step by step towards the insignificant assassin. But just as the tip of the knife pierced towards him, the insignificant traitor was dumbfounded. It was a dummy that was tied up. At this moment, Gu Xingye's ghostly voice sounded from behind. "It's a pity that assassin has already been transferred by us to a safe place. No wonder you wanted to kill Li Yuan the moment you saw her at the hospital. So it was you. Tell me who's behind this, or it's goodbye." "So it was Liao, the head of the Qilin Chamber of Commerce. Is it really okay to let him go like this?" "Hua Junza," asked Gu Xingye, "I won't let anyone who betrays me go. Neither will Liao. Even if he took the money, he may not live to spend it." On the other side, Li Yuan was still pondering the complicated relationship between her and Gu Xingye. As she thought, she felt a splitting headache. A ghostly illusion of Gu Xingye appeared before her eyes. A burst of noisy commotion pulled her back to the dormitory. "The boss isn't home, Mississippi. Please leave. Get out of my way. How dare you stop me?" During the struggle, the short-haired woman seemed to notice Li Yuan. She immediately turned her head and stared fiercely at her. Li Yuan, following the principle of not hitting a smiling face, asked the short-haired woman with a grin, "Want some chips?" This one phrase, miss, immediately infuriated the short-haired woman. "You bitch. How dare you call me miss? You're a whole year, 4 months, 21 days, 11 hours, and 40 minutes older than me." Li Yuan looked puzzled. "Why are you so agitated?" "Huh, you're playing dumb. Listen up. My name is Ding Luying. I'm Gu Xingye's real girlfriend. Get out of here, you shameless homewrecker." On the other side, Gu Xingye was discussing business with Ding Luying's father, the head of the Zhenghe Chamber of Commerce. "Ying has been bothering you a lot recently. You've worked hard. It's all right. Actually, I've taken Li Yuan back to my house." "What's your reason for doing that?" "I don't have any feelings for Li Yuan. I'm keeping her captive to avenge what happened in the past and to get back the four-sided seal of authority that belongs to the Chamber of Commerce." The same words, the first half, had already reached Li Yuan's ears from Ding Luying at the same time. As expected, Gu Xingye had ulterior motives for keeping her imprisoned. "Then I'll continue to provoke this silly girl and get more information out of her. As Gu Xingye's real girlfriend, have you slept with him?" Ding Luying flew into a rage. "You bitch. What are you talking about? What does that have to do with you? Seems like you don't know anything. You dare call yourself his real girlfriend? I bet you don't even know why I'm living here." Provoked, Ding Luying immediately took the bait. "Who says I don't know? You and Xingye Gij are mortal enemies. He spared your life only because you took something very important from him." Mortal enemies? Something very important? Li Yuan quickly extracted the key information from Ding Luying's words. And Ding Luying didn't disappoint. Continuing on, "You think you can erase the hatred of you stabbing him by pretending to have amnesia? The wound on his collarbone almost killed him. So I was the one who stabbed him in the chest. What happened? Why can't I remember anything? Everyone says I betrayed him. Was I really such a villain before? Staying here might be dangerous. This was the only thought left in Li Yuan's mind. So she hurried back to her room, wanting to pack her things and leave. But at this moment, Gu Xingya suddenly barged in. Li Yuan, where are you going? Li Yuan played along. Your girlfriend told me to get out of here. Girlfriend? I don't have a girlfriend. Ding Luiying. She said she's your real girlfriend. She's the daughter of the head of the Zhenghe Chamber of Commerce. We're just acquaintances. I may have amnesia, but I'm not interested in your romantic entanglements. Since I'm not the only fish in your pond, please be so kind as to let me go. Hearing this, Gu Xinyan, like a dejected puppy, sat slumped in front of Li Yuan. You can't leave. Li Yuan moved closer to her. Gu Xinyan, you claim to be protecting me with a contract, but in reality, you're imprisoning me here. Instead of us suspecting each other, let's just talk it out. This scar, is it because of me? The dejected puppy bared her teeth. Who told you that? Don't deny it, Gu Xinyan. You hate me, don't you? The puppy turned her head away, her ears visibly reddening. Her voice softened, and oh, I don't resent you. Li Yuan leaned against Gu Xinyan's body, speaking suggestively. When will you be as honest as your body? Xingye Gij keeps me locked up like a canary, enjoying the power of controlling everything about me. It makes you feel very satisfied, doesn't it? Gu Xinyan anxiously lowered her eyes, avoiding Li Yuan's gaze. No, it's not like that. I just want to protect you. Protect me? Li Yuan tilted her head quizzically. You keep me locked up at home, make me take medicine of unknown origin every day, and have a bunch of your men watching me with real guns and knives, all while calling it protection. If you were me, would you believe it? Gu Xinyan looked at her helplessly. Then what do you want? Let me go, Li Yuan declared resolutely. She paid no attention to the flickering emotions in Gu Xinyan's eyes. The air was thick with tension. Li Yuan finally lost her patience. She reached for Gu Xinyan's waistband and snatched his gun. Promise me, or I'll die right here in front of you. Gu Xinyan was startled and frantically tried to grab the gun back. Put the gun down. Don't be impulsive. But Li Yuan was clearly a force to be reckoned with. Seeing her resolve, Gu Xinyan could only reluctantly agree. However, she demanded that Li Yuan also promise her one thing. Li Yuan, whose expression had just relaxed, immediately became alert again. S.O. The fox's tail is finally showing. Are you ready to reveal your true motive? But Gu Xinyan simply looked at her tenderly. Promise me you'll take care of yourself out there. I'll be waiting for you to come home. The scene changed. Li Yuan, with her luggage packed, stood at the door. Sorry, Gu Xinyan, I'm going back on my word. I won't be returning to this magnificent birdcage. Then, Li Yuan drove towards freedom without looking back. But for some reason, the tender look in Gu Xinyan's eyes at their parting kept flashing through her mind. But before she could react, a large truck accelerated and collided with her. Li Yuan swerved the steering wheel sharply, but her car still uncontrollably crashed into the roadside barrier. Then, 3 assassins with guns got out of the truck and approached her. Li Yuan was now slumped against the airbag, covered in blood. The people monitoring the villa didn't know it was Li Yuan who had left. Gu Xinyan wouldn't resort to such underhanded tactics. Could there be someone else inside the villa? At this moment, the assassins, guns raised, slowly approached Li Yuan. But in the next second, one of them was shot in the head. A strange yet familiar figure appeared outside the car window. Hello, Yuan. Long time no see. As soon as Li Yuan left, one of Gu Xinyan's men expressed his concern. Boss, just letting Li Yuan go like that. She has many enemies. What if something happens to her? Gu Xinyan's expression remained calm, that I've already spread the news about the 4-sided seal being in her possession. She has to stay alive for the 4-sided seal to have a chance of resurfacing. Even if she's captured, I'm confident I can rescue her, except from that madman. But Gu Xinyan didn't know that Li Yuan had already fallen into the hands of the madman he spoke of. The white-haired man was indeed a madman. He boasted to Li Yuan about how he had already taken care of the people who attacked her. He had just murdered several people, yet he wore a carefree smile. Li Yuan couldn't help but wonder how she had come to know such a person. But just in case, she pretended to be familiar with him, cautiously playing along. However, her stiff expression aroused the white-haired man's suspicion. He stood up and approached Li Yuan. Yuan, you seem strange. Could it be that the car accident made you lose your memory? Yuan Yuan. If you forget me, I'll be very heartbroken. A Yuan Yuan who doesn't remember me has no value in existing. Li Yuan feigned composure, but inwardly, she held her breath that I haven't lost my memory. It's just. She quietly moved her hand toward the shard of glass nearby. In the next second, she plunged the shard into the white-haired man's shoulder and neck. Taking advantage of his surprise, she nimbly jumped out of the car. But as she ran for her life, she was hit by another bullet. The white-haired man appeared behind her like a ghost. This the Li Yuan I know? Too bad you're still the same as before. You always forget to finish the job. It's been a while since we've had some fun. Why don't you come to my place today? We can have a good chat over some drinks. At this moment, Li Yuan unexpectedly discovered that she had apparently planted rubber. The bullet wouldn't be fatal, and she had indeed stabbed him hard. The white-haired man was still casually brushing himself off. Though I'm ruthless, you hit me pretty hard. Li Yuan was thinking, this guy knows me. He might be able to provide me with some useful information. I might as well go home with him and see. So the two drove home. In the car, the white-haired man continued to bicker with Li Yuan. Li Yuan could only respond cautiously. Actually, through Ding Luing, Li Yuan had a general understanding of what kind of person she was. As long as this weirdo didn't discover her amnesia, she should be safe. At this moment, two familiar figures flashed past the window. What, Junza? What's he doing here? Is that his girlfriend? It turned out that Li Yuan's former subordinate, the pink-haired woman, had deliberately planned to get close to Gu Xingye's subordinate in order to find out about Li Yuan. Under the pink-haired woman's advances, Hu Junza's feelings had escalated, and they had reached the point where they could chat face-to-face. The white-haired man thought he saw someone he knew and asked Li Yuan if she wanted to get out of the car and say hello. Li Yuan refused, so the white-haired man started his twisted jokes again. This deserted wilderness is quite suitable for dumping bodies. Li Yuan couldn't help but worry about her personal safety again. Amidst the bickering, the two arrived at the white-haired man's house. At home, Li Yuan bandaged the white-haired man's wound and unexpectedly discovered that he had a fully equipped medical room and laboratory. While she was curious about his identity, the white-haired man asked her if she wanted to take a bath. He spoke about such a private matter so casually. Could he be a close friend? So, with a probing intention, she asked, would it be inappropriate for me to take a bath here? The white-haired man suddenly became alarmed. Oh my God, Yuan, you don't suspect I peeked, do you? His agitated reaction made Li Yuan a little embarrassed, but also proved that they were just ordinary friends with no ambiguous relationship. Soon, the white-haired man mentioned that he had some work matters to discuss with her. He led Li Yuan to the lab table and told her that the formula for this batch of medicine was a bit complicated. The amnesia drug still needed more time, but he could give her a discount. Li Yuan then realized that this madman was her partner in making amnesia drugs. So, she took out the bottle of medicine Gu Xingye had given her, wanted to take the opportunity to see what the ingredients were. The white-haired man, thinking it was another high-profit amnesia drug, excitedly went to do the experiment. After a while, he finished the identification and discovered that it was just a medicine to nourish the cranial nerves, specifically for treating amnesia. Hearing his words, Li Yuan was instantly stunned. It really was just medicine for amnesia. Gu Xingye hadn't intended to harm her. The white-haired man was still puzzled. This kind of medicine is very niche and not very profitable. Who would take this kind of medicine? Could it be you who's taking it? Li Yuan was suddenly startled. Oh no. So she quickly changed her story, claiming that she was just asking for a friend. The white-haired man walked over to a calligraphy piece and, leaning in, asked Yuan, do you remember this calligraphy you gave me? It even has both our names on it. Li Yuan looked at the calligraphy before her. It did feel somewhat familiar. It was indeed her name. So she replied, I wrote it. But upon hearing her answer, the white-haired man suddenly chuckled. In the next second, he pressed a sharp blade against Li Yuan's neck. Oh, Yuan, what's my name? I'll count to 3, then I'll take the knife away. The white-haired man raised his hands. Don't be nervous. I just want to hear you say my name. Li Yuan instinctively felt goosebumps all over her body. She decided to follow her instincts. She figured even without amnesia, she wouldn't call him by his name. Having said that, Li Yuan turned around to go back to sleep. The white-haired man pleaded with her to stay and play with him a little longer. There was no sound behind her, Li Yuan turned her head and found the white-haired man staring thoughtfully at the calligraphy. Could that be his name? Seeing her familiar handwriting, Li Yuan felt as if something was surfacing in her mind. Good night, Qianli Chong. Splitting it apart, it was the two characters Qianli. It felt like a word game she had deliberately played. Hearing Bai Mao call her name, Li Yuan was overjoyed. It seemed her guess was right. Back in her room, Li Yuan found it hard to fall asleep. She found herself missing Gu Xingye's comfortable bed and the bedtime stories he used to tell her to help her sleep. Suddenly, a crashing sound caught her attention. She threw on some clothes and went to the basement to investigate. She discovered Sheng Qianli fiddling with a dried corpse. The sight triggered some painful memories. Painful memories began to surface. As a child, her mother always waited for her father to come home, but she had never met him. Later, her mother became very ill, but they had no money. She had to go out to find medicine. After many hardships, she finally met a kind person and got the medicine. But when she returned, her mother was sleeping so soundly that she couldn't wake her. Her mother's jaw was clenched tight. With great effort, she finally managed to pour the medicine in. Later, her mother's body became very cold. She must have finally broken her fever. Li Yuan stayed with her sleeping mother for a long time. Then one day, a group of people broke into their home and tried to separate her and her mother. Perhaps because her mother hadn't bathed in a long time, her sin attracted them. They wanted to take her mother away. She fought back desperately, but in the end, she was sent to a place called an orphanage. Later, a kind person adopted her. Child, I've buried your mother. From now on, you'll come with me. This is my nephew. We'll be companions from now on. The little boy standing by the man's feet looked very familiar. It must have been Gu Xinyan. Li Yuan struggled awake from her dream. Yuan, calling another man's name in my bed? That's so mean. How did you get here? You fainted at the entrance to the secret room last night. I carried you back. Do you like my collection? Li Yuan ignored him and asked if he knew of any islands covered in pink cherry blossoms. In her dream, her younger self and Gu Xinyan had been sitting under a pink cherry blossom tree. They buried a large time capsule under the tree, but Gu Xinyan wouldn't let her open it yet. They promised to open it together in 10 years. Li Yuan held out her small hand to make a pinky promise. Little Xinyan looked at her expectantly. In 10 years, will we still be together like this? Her younger self firmly promised him, we'll still be like this. But in the next second, her face in the memory became distorted with rage. A knife mercilessly slashed towards the man blocking her path. She didn't know if Bai Mao had answered her earlier question, but she could take him to ask someone. Li Yuan said no, she would go now. Soon, she arrived at the docks and asked a boatman if he knew of any islands covered in cherry blossoms. The boatman thought for a moment that it must be Hongba Island. The tree on that island held the time capsule she buried. Maybe it could help her recover more memories. As Li Yuan boarded the boat, a mysterious figure followed her. Li Yuan immediately sensed this strange man. His figure seemed familiar. But the next second, the boatman turned around with a grim expression. Several burly men suddenly appeared. Beautiful lady, come with us. Someone wants to see you. Realizing she had fallen into a trap, Li Yuan slowly took off her glasses. Come with you? Just you. I think I'll be the one sending you off. With a few quick shots, the men fell to the ground. Suddenly, a gun was pressed against the back of her head. How'd bullets miss? But the next second, a gun was pressed against the man's head. A third person appeared. Drop your weapons and tell your men to surrender. We have more than 10 men. You can't kill us all. Just then, the mysterious man in the hat revealed his face. 1 minute. Leave or die. Li Yuan was shocked. The mysterious man was Gu Xingye. I have enough bullets to deal with all of you. Leave if you don't want to die. Li Yuan was surprised to find that, although they had only been apart for a day. She was so happy to see his face again. The attackers were still indignant, but pressured by Gu Xingye's threats, they left on the small boat. Just letting them go like that? That's not your style. Should I have killed them all then, including you? You're a wanted person now. The whole world is after you. They probably never dreamed the prize would deliver itself. Li Yuan was speechless at these words. I originally wanted to go somewhere. I heard this was the only dock to get there. I didn't expect to board a pirate ship, but it's a beautiful place, covered in pink flowers. And Li Yuan trailed off. Li Yuan turned, staring intently at Gu Xingye. Gu Xingye's eyes flickered, avoiding her gaze. Li Yuan already understood. She remembered. Li Yuan asked directly, you don't mind that I injured you and stole your things? Why bring me home to heal? Wouldn't threatening me directly be faster than trying to win me over with kindness? Gu Xingye still didn't meet her eyes. eyes. Bathed in the sunset's afterglow, she looked a little melancholic. In your world, Li Yuan, are profits the most important thing? Li Yuan answered without hesitation, yes. What would you do if someone did that to you? I would definitely take revenge. Even if they fled to the ends of the earth, I would find them and repay the harm they caused me tenfold. If you were the one betraying and hurting others, would you want them to take such revenge on you? One should accept the consequences of their actions. Having done evil, one must bear all the consequences. Gu Xingye's eyes flickered, making it impossible to tell what she was thinking. Suddenly, a violent explosion rocked the sea. The men who had just been driven away, unwilling to give up, had blown up the boat. Li Yuan fell into the sea, her body sinking continuously. Her consciousness began to fade. Seawater rushed in, making it difficult to breathe. Suddenly, she felt a figure approach. Lips pressed against hers, and fresh air was delivered. When she opened her eyes again, she had been washed ashore on an unknown island. Badly injured, she looked around. Gu Xingye was nowhere to be seen. Even the surrounding environment was completely unfamiliar. Recalling the moments before losing consciousness, she realized it hadn't been a hallucination. Gu Xingye had given her air, surely to save her. She must have drowned. She was taking such good care of me, sincerely wanting me to regain my memory, and I kept doubting her. It's all my fault. I can't remember anything. I'm such a waste. Stranded on the deserted island, Li Yuan felt helpless for the first time. But in the next second, she pulled herself together. Regretting wouldn't help here. She needed to find food and water. With that, she walked into the unfamiliar island. Walking along, she seemed to see something ahead. It was a secluded cabin. It was just like the scene in her dreams. Could this be Hongbao Island? Elsewhere, the small fry who had succeeded in their ambush returned to shore. Their leader boasted about taking down the notorious Li Yuan. He was about to call his boss to report his success, but for some reason, he couldn't get through. Suddenly, he felt his body freeze. Turning around, he discovered his men had all collapsed. A ghostly figure sat at the bow of the boat. Don't worry, I just gave them a little something while you weren't looking. Nothing life-threatening. Tell me where Li Yuan is. Qian Li Chong stepped closer to the terrified man. The man's face paled with fear. Trash like you could kill Li Yuan? You owe me another favor, my Yuan. Meanwhile, Li Yuan entered the cabin. No one was inside, yet it felt strangely familiar. Every corner, every object, seemed to bear traces of her presence. Suddenly, she spotted a television in the corner. She picked up a videotape and put it in. It was Gu Xingye as a child, wearing a dress. Gu Xingye in the video was adorable, wearing a pink dress and playing with her. The uncle who adopted her stood by, watching them with a gentle smile. This heartwarming scene brought tears to Li Yuan's eyes. At the end of the video, Gu Xingye mentioned a time capsule buried under the tree in the backyard. Li Yuan suddenly remembered and rushed to the tree to search. Digging persistently, there were actually 2 time capsules. With a flicker of anticipation, Li Yuan opened the first one. Inside the first one was a photo, a record of a happy family of 3. There was also a handwritten letter from Gu Xingye. The letter said that he wanted to grow tall and be her husband. After composing herself, she opened the second time capsule. Li Yuan was shocked by what she found inside. It was the Sifong seal. How could it be here? The Sifong seal, fiercely fought over in the underworld, was actually in her time capsule. Who put it here? Yuan, you're really not dead. I was so worried about you. I thought you were hacked to pieces by the rain, like Gu Xingye. The man who had been presumed dead for 3 days miraculously returned, but he thought that his former nemesis had saved him. He immediately showered his nemesis with kisses, hugs, and lifted him high. But who knew the person who truly saved him was actually rescued from danger by the wind. Li Yuan finally opened the time capsule she shared with Gu Xingye, who knew that inside was the Sifong seal, which all factions were desperately seeking. And at this moment, an unexpected guest suddenly appeared. Yuan, you're really here. Li Yuan was startled. Sheng Qianli, what was he doing here? Seeing the time capsule in her arms, Qianli mocked her mercilessly. You're not still looking at time capsules and reminiscing about the past, are you? The Li Yuan I know isn't this sentimental. You've been acting a little unlike yourself lately. Li Yuan was panicking. She couldn't let Sheng Qianli discover the Sifong seal in her possession. So, pretending to fix her hair, she hid the Sifong seal within it. She feigned indifference and asked, "What are you doing here? Are you following me?" "Don't be silly," Qianli joked. "I was worried about you. I was going to make your corpse into a mummy and keep it. It wouldn't be aesthetically pleasing if your appearance was damaged. Just like that Gu Xingye, he was chewed up by fish, so ugly. I might as well bury him in the hole you dug. Hearing Gu Xingye's name, Li Yuan's expression immediately changed. You ran into Gu Xingye? What happened to him? But at this moment, Qinli still wore a sickly sweet smile. As if teasing Li Yuan was incredibly amusing. He said lightly, "He's dead." Looking in the direction he pointed, she indeed saw the battered Gu Xingye lying weakly on the grass. The scene changed. Gu Xingye had already been brought into a room. Now, Li Yuan's gaze held no trace of her previous disdain, but was filled with tenderness. Struggling, Gu Xingye slowly opened his eyes, seeing Li Yuan sitting by his bedside. The same Li Yuan who had always been cold to him. Now full of concern, he couldn't help but feel overjoyed. "Li Yuan, you saved me." Before Li Yuan could react, Gu Xingye pulled her into a tight embrace. "I knew you cared about me. Why didn't you want me to die?" But the two, lost in their affectionate display, ignored Qianli standing nearby. "Hey, get your paws off Yuan. Only then did Gu Xingye notice Qianli's presence. His expression instantly darkened. Provocatively, he pulled Li Yuan closer into his embrace. Pressed against Gu Xingye's chest, Li Yuan's face was now as red as an apple. The atmosphere between the two men was tense, as if they were about to fight at any second. Seeing this, Li Yuan quickly intervened. "Stop it, Qianli. He's still injured." Unexpectedly scolded by Yuan, Qianli instantly turned into a whiny mess. "You're actually scolding me for him? Am I not as important as him to you?" Li Yuan was speechless. Just as she was about to say that wasn't what she meant, Qianli's expression changed. "Did you hear that? I'm most important to Yuan. This left Li Yuan even more speechless. Then Qianli said provocatively, "You should know, right? For the past year, Yuan has been with me. I'm her most important partner." But Gu Xingye retorted dismissively, "Anyone can be a partner. 1 year is nothing compared to the time Li Yuan and I have known each other." This completely enraged Qianli. "You've known each other for so long, and you still broke up, but she was still willing to save me. It was me who saved you, damn it. The wound on your leg was bandaged with my jacket." Learning the truth, Gu Xingye looked disgusted, as if he had swallowed a fly. Feeling triumphant, Qianli raised his chin. "What, are you disgusted? If you're so capable, then take it off." At this moment, Li Yuan felt a strong sense of dissonance. Both of them were powerful figures in their own right. How could they bicker like two elementary school children? However, Gu Xingye's angry expression was exactly the same as when he was a child. "Even if you did save him, it was Li Yuan who told you to." Do you think everything's fine just because you saved him? His wound is infected, and there's no medicine here. If his fever doesn't go down tonight, he'll either die or be burned into an idiot. Then Yuan and I will bury you together. On the other side of the dock, a group of people had already begun to move, bring more weapons. Don't let either of them come back alive. The once sworn enemies, now mafia bosses, were planning to propose to each other. After narrowly escaping death on the island, they unexpectedly remembered their carefree childhood together. After Gu Xingye's wounds healed, the two bickered as they prepared to leave the island. Then they made an unbelievable discovery. The boat they had sailed thousands of miles on had been burned, and a group of people with guns were heading their way. Outnumbered and without weapons, they couldn't risk a direct confrontation. So Gu Xingye suggested they hide in the secret passage under the house. Once inside the dilapidated and cramped passage, Sheng Qianli complained, Yuan, let this cripple hide here by himself. We can totally fight our way out." Gu Xingye retorted, "If you don't want to live, don't drag Yuan down with you." Then he secretly pressed a switch, trapping Sheng Qianli outside. Li Yuan looked at him in shock. "You activated the mechanism?" "Yes. Sheng Qianli is too much of a nuisance, and he doesn't seem to know you've lost your memory." "Sure, I haven't told him. It's my weakness, after all. I don't want anyone to know." Gu Xingye's eyes lit up. He gently kissed Li Yuan's fingertips. An ambiguous atmosphere instantly filled the small space. "All right, I definitely won't tell anyone." While the two were still engrossed in each other, the group of men had already barged in. They only saw Gu Xingye alone in the cellar. The intruders were about to celebrate their capture of Gu Xingye, but then the switch was activated. Massive boulders tumbled down. The men, who had been so so arrogant just moments before, were instantly crushed to dust. Although the two had narrowly escaped death again, Gu Xingye's wound started bleeding. He wanted to leave quickly without tending to his wound, but then a figure appeared at the entrance. It was Sheng Qianli, completely unharmed. Yuan, seeing you so lively, I guess I won't have to collect your body after all. In the next second, he started bickering with Gu Xingye. Li Yuan, being the more level-headed one, reminded them to leave quickly. She also resolved to find out who was after her when they got back. After much hardship, the three finally escaped the island. Gu Xingye invited Li Yuan to stay with him. Li Yuan was about to agree when Sheng Qianli, unaware of what had transpired, stepped forward and protectively stood in front of Li Yuan to "Don't be ridiculous. What right do you have to invite him?" Gu Xingye replied calmly, "I'm his husband." He then looked at Li Yuan. Yuan, will you marry me?" Li Yuan was stunned, but don't rush to refuse. Think about it carefully. Marrying me will be more beneficial than harmful for you. After they landed, Gu Xingye's men came to pick him up. Before leaving, he reminded Li Yuan again, "Come find me anytime once you've made up your mind." Sheng Qianli asked Li Yuan if she wanted to stay with him, but Li Yuan declined, saying she had something to do. That very night, she snuck into Gu Xingye's house. After all, compared to being alone, the Sifang seal would be safer with Gu Xingye. Having just hidden the seal, the perceptive Li Yuan sensed someone approaching. When Gu Xingye and Hua Juanze entered, they also realized someone had been there. Hua Juanze raised his gun, ready to fight the intruder, only to see Li Yuan, wrapped in a towel, emerge from the bathroom. May I borrow the bathroom?" Gu Xingye's face darkened. Hua Juanze, not daring to breathe, quickly fled. After the light bulb left, Gu Xingye stepped closer to Li Yuan. "Tell me, what are you really trying to do?" Once sworn enemies, these underworld bosses were now about to walk down the aisle together. But on the night before the wedding, one of the female boss's former subordinates showed up. After Gu Xingye had proposed, Li Yuan appeared at Gu Xingye's house that very night. She wrapped her arms around Gu Xingye's neck suggestively. "Do you really not know what my being here means?" Li Yuan accepted the proposal, but with a condition. "I want a lavish wedding." She needed a setting where she could see more familiar faces. The more people she saw, the more memories she might trigger. The Sifang seal couldn't be revealed to Gu Xingye until she figured out why her past self had hidden it. The most dangerous place was the safest. Besides, judging by the memories she'd recovered so far, Gu Xingye seemed trustworthy. Gu Xingye, however, sensed that Li Yuan was hiding something, but it didn't matter. She would figure it out eventually, as long as you're willing to marry me right now. That's all that matters. What, boss? Are you really going to marry that shrew? Juanze, watch your language. Even if you don't care about her stabbing you. Boss, what about Qianhua? Have you forgotten how he died? After hearing Hua Juanze's words, Gu Xingye leaned back in her chair. There might be more to my uncle's death. In any case, I need an engagement ceremony arranged as soon as possible. Hua Juanze, the ever-diligent employee, accepted the task. However, he knew nothing about engagement parties. He could only turn to his girlfriend for help, the pink-haired woman who was secretly one of Li Yuan's subordinates and had intentionally gotten close to him. The pink-haired woman answered the phone, her voice instantly transforming into a saccharine sweet tone. "Why are you calling Ro so late, honey? An engagement party? For whom?" "My boss and her amnesiac girlfriend." "Your boss?" The pink-haired woman was taken aback. Something wrong?" "No, just a bit surprised. I thought it was for us. If you want one." But the pink-haired woman cut off Hua Juanze's rambling. "Leave it to me. From the dress to the venue. I guarantee I'll make it absolutely perfect." "Okay, thanks. So about us." The pink-haired woman hung up before he could finish. After hanging up, the pink-haired woman was furious. That scumbag, taking advantage of my boss's amnesia to trick her into marriage. Just you wait. A few days later, Li Yuan was trying on wedding dresses. But her intuition told her that the staff member helping her was not what they seemed. She ripped off the staff member's wig. "It was the pink-haired woman in disguise that you're not one of the staff. Tell me, what's your purpose in getting close to me?" As expected of the boss, even with amnesia, you're still so vigilant. "I'm here to get you out of here. You can't marry Gu Xingye. There's a blood feud between you two." Gu Xingye, waiting outside, sensed something was wrong and called in to ask if Li Yuan was ready. "Our people are outside waiting, boss. Let's get out of here." Li Yuan didn't recognize the pink-haired woman and was torn between trusting her and handing her over to Gu Xingye. But Gu Xingye also heard the commotion. She was about to pull back the curtain to see what was going on. Li Yuan quickly darted out, hiding the pink-haired woman behind her. "It's nothing, honey. My dress just came undone. Can you help me tie it?" Gu Xingye reached out to help, but then noticed the large expanse of exposed skin on the back of the dress. "Wait a minute. This dress is too revealing. Don't bother trying it on. Just take it off." She then leaned in closer, her voice husky. "Want me to help you?" The pink-haired woman, peeking from behind the curtain, was burning with rage. That lustful man, how dare he defile the boss? "I can't take it anymore. I'm going to go out there and beat him up." Just as she was about to step out of the dressing room, Li Yuan noticed her. To avoid being exposed, Li Yuan kissed Gu Xingye. Gu Xingye was stunned. The pink-haired woman, still halfway out of the dressing room, was also stunned. She could only retreat back inside. But Gu Xingye still felt like she had heard something. "What was that sound just now?" "What sound?" "That was the sound of me kissing you, of course. You've wrinkled the dress. We'll buy it, and you'll only wear it for me." They continued their flirtatious banter, but then a subordinate suddenly arrived. "Boss Gu, Miss Ding wants to see you." Gu Xingye, not yet finished with her affectionate moment with her soon-to-be wife, dismissed the subordinate without a second thought. But Li Yuan saw this as an opportunity to get Gu Xingye away so the pink-haired woman could escape. "Let's meet. I also really want to know what she's here for." So, Gu Xingye listened to Li Yuan and went to see Miss Ding. Li Yuan, who arrived fashionably late, had just reached the door when she overheard their unbelievable conversation. "Brother Xingye, are you really going to marry her? How can you marry an enemy? Have you forgotten? She killed your uncle." The underworld boss, about to walk down the aisle, unexpectedly learned of the blood feud between the two. Li Yuan unintentionally overheard the conversation between Gu Xingye and Miss Ding. Did she really kill Gu Xingye's uncle, the man who adopted her? But in her fragmented memories, he had always been so good to her. Could it be that everything the pink-haired woman said in the dressing room was true? Was there really a blood feud between her and Gu Xingye? Lost in thought, Li Yuan fell into a vortex of memories. In her memory, she ran frantically, but a familiar voice stopped her. Yuan, come back with me. I'll definitely find out the truth and keep you safe. Get out of my way. Don't block me." Yuan, if you leave now, you'll be confirming your guilt in Uncle's death. If you didn't do it, stay and face it with me." But for some reason, Li Yuan couldn't heed Gu Xingye's kind words. In the last moment of the memory, she ruthlessly attacked Gu Xingye. The next second, she woke up from the dream with a scream. A broad arm embraced Li Yuan. "It's okay. I'm here. It was just a nightmare." Gu Xingye then picked up a bottle of pills nearby. "Take some medicine to calm down." Seeing the pills, Li Yuan recalled how Gu Xingye had always been wary and testing of her. If she really was the enemy who killed his uncle, then his previous capriciousness was understandable. But now, was the tenderness he was currently showing genuine, or did he have ulterior motives? Seeing her hesitate, Gu Xingye asked what she was thinking. Li Yuan quickly changed the subject. "Think of me, like last time." Until she understood Gu Xingye's purpose, she couldn't let her guard down. Gu Xingye didn't suspect anything for the moment. "Are you blaming me for being too rough with you last time? Or are you hoping I'll be gentle this time?" He soon probed further. "Didn't you want to ask me anything after hearing Ding Liying's words? I know she's deliberately trying to drive a wedge between us. How could I believe her? Right, don't trust anyone." Li Yuan certainly wouldn't believe her. She only ever trusted herself. The four major chambers of commerce are Vermilion Bird, Azure Dragon, Black Tortoise, and Qilin. 4 generations, the Hua family has been the head of the Black Tortoise, leading the chamber. Therefore, Black Tortoise is also known as the General Chamber of Commerce. Gu Xingye's uncle, the previous Hua family head, was suddenly killed 2 years ago. The Sifong seal disappeared. Ding Yuanzhan, the vice president of the Black Tortoise Chamber, took the position of Hua family head. While investigating the truth behind the previous Hua family head's death, an eyewitness claimed it was Li Yuan who had just taken over the Vermilion Bird Chamber in a power grab. Remembering some things, Li Yuan sought out her completely trusted pink-haired confidant to explain what had happened. "So, just because the Sifong seal appeared in my hands, I was framed." "That's right. The loss of the Sifong seal couldn't be publicized. You were secretly wanted by the upper echelons of the Chamber of Commerce for a while. Later, you recruited us brothers and stormed back into the Vermilion Bird Chamber to retake control." Li Yuan pondered the pink-haired woman's words. "I must have made some kind of deal with them, or persuaded them, to maintain the superficial peace." Li Yuan then instructed the pink-haired woman Song Luo, help me investigate that eyewitness who identified me, as well as the details of the previous Hua family head's death. But the pink-haired woman told her she had already given those orders before. It seemed it really had nothing to do with her. If that was the case, then who was the killer? A man to marry his sworn enemy would even risk his life. Li Yuan had just returned home after gathering information. When Gu Xingye eagerly stepped forward and embraced her, I noticed you weren't home as soon as I got back. Where did you go? Li Yuan, of course, wouldn't tell him the truth, only saying she went to try on another dress. Unexpectedly, Gu Xingye acted out of character, warning her not to go out recently. Li Yuan was very displeased. What? Are you trying to confine me again? Gu Xingye said he just didn't want anything to go wrong before the engagement. Li Yuan, with her sharp intuition, sensed something was off about his reaction and asked if something had happened. Gu Xingye's expression darkened slightly. Nothing. I'm just afraid my fiancée will suddenly change her mind and not want to marry me. The next second, he domineeringly pulled Li Yuan's waist closer. How about I wear you out so much you can't even leave? After saying this, he gradually moved closer to Li Yuan, close enough to feel each other's breath. But these provocative words and ambiguous posture couldn't move our experienced Li Yuan. All right, the others are gone. Put me down. So what happened? You can tell me now. Seeing that he'd been found out, Gu Xingye stopped pretending. Yuan, your memory has recovered a bit recently, right? Can you remember where the Sifong seal is? A few days later, Li Yuan looked thoughtfully at the Sifong seal in her hand. Suddenly, a flying knife came hurtling towards her. Such a unique way of saying hello. It was our Qinli, no doubt. Her reflexes were as sharp as ever. Looks like Gu Xingye hasn't softened her up. Qinli, what are you doing here? Sheng Qinli stood up gracefully. Of course. I'm here to give my dear Union a heads up. Tomorrow is your engagement banquet. Don't you want to know where your dear fiancé has gone? Sitting in front of Gu Xingye at this moment was the acting head of the Ding family that I was attacked a few days ago on the island. It was Uncle Ding who sent them, wasn't it? Of course not. Why would you think that? Your uncle and I built our businesses together. You're like family to me, just like Lu Ying. I would never hurt family. But Li Yuan is the murderer of Qian Huashi. Marrying her is the same as opposing the Chamber of Commerce. Even if you were my family, I will not tolerate this. Boss Gu, you know what to do. Don't make things difficult for Mr. Ding. Do you want to be my family, or do you want to betray me and become the enemy of the entire Chamber of Commerce? Gu Xingye smiled indifferently. Mr. Ding, you worry too much. I certainly wouldn't betray the Chamber of Commerce for a woman. My engagement to Li Yuan is just to get the location of the Sifong seal from her. After hearing his words, Uncle Ding looked at Gu Xingye with suspicion. Well then, change the engagement to my daughter, Lu Ying. I believe you can obtain the Sifong seal before the engagement with Li Yuan, and then deal with her. His mortal enemy was finally about to walk down the aisle. But the person standing beside Gu Xingye wasn't Li Yuan. I have no objections to Uncle Ding's arrangement, but I have one condition. I can get engaged to Ding Lu Ying, but the Qilin Chamber of Commerce, managed by Liao, must be handed over to me. After all, compared to that dog, I, your son-in-law, am more trustworthy. Do you agree, father-in-law? Sheng Qinli overheard all of this. Yuan, what do you think Gu Xingye is now? He's getting engaged to Ding Lu Ying, using the hotel you chose, with the banquet you envisioned. Ding Lu Ying might even be wearing the dress you picked out. Hearing this, Li Yuan remained expressionless. She turned to leave. Qinli quickly chased after her. Yuan, where are you going? Are you going to kill that treacherous couple? Take me with you. But as soon as they opened the door, a gun blocked their way. The boss has given orders. You're not allowed to leave this place. Miss Li Yuan, please go back. Hua Juanza saw Sheng Qinli behind her. Who are you? How'd you get in here? Sheng Qinli laughed. Yuan, you even have bodyguards? So it's all true. I've been imprisoned again. Gu Xingye, you liar. The gunshots will attract attention soon. I advise you not to act rashly. Hearing this, Li Yuan chuckled. Mr. Juanza, it seems you haven't attracted your own subordinates. What? Juanza turned around in confusion. Seeing the newcomer, his eyes widened. Jiazi, the woman he was about to marry, was pointing a gun at him. Hua Juanza's jaw dropped. Taking advantage of his surprise, Sheng Qinli knocked him unconscious with a chop to the neck. Looking at the unconscious Hua Juanza, what should we do now? Li Yuan's expression was firm that I need to go somewhere. Both of them spoke at the same time. Where? To the engagement banquet, of course, to congratulate Gu Xingye. Hurry up, the main event is about to begin. Please exchange rings. Mr. Gu Xingye, do you take Miss Ding to be your lawfully wedded wife? The wedding on the other side was still proceeding smoothly. For richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do you part? Do you? But the words wouldn't come. Just as Li Yuan hesitated, the priest behind her was shot down. The source of his shot was none other than Liao Laoda of the Qilin Chamber of Commerce. Nobody move. I have this place surrounded. Gu Xingye, you want to take my Qilin Chamber of Commerce? You'll need the life to do it. Ning Yuan arrived to find the scene in chaos that so many people injured. The two immediately decided to go inside and investigate. Gu Xingye, with his imposing presence, strode in. He immediately slapped Gu Xingye across the face. Ding Luiying tried to intervene protectively. Li Yuan, what are you doing? Gu Xingye, are you just going to hide behind a woman? Can't you even say a word to me? Despite Li Yuan's provocation, Gu Xingye remained calm. That haven't you seen enough? What more is there to say? Ding Luiying added fuel to the fired Li Yuan. Gu Xingye is my fiancé now. He has nothing to do with you. You have no right to criticize him. Please leave our engagement party. Miss, your fiancé and this engagement party belonged to me just a few hours ago. As someone you've cast aside, I advise you not to trust this man too much. He'll stop at nothing to get what he wants. He could never truly love you. Ding Luiying, emboldened by anger, actually tried to slap Li Yuan. Predictably, her hand was caught effortlessly. What? Are you eager to be hit too? Chairman Ding finally intervened, putting a stop to the argument. Uncle Ding, it's not a good day for further injuries. Let them go. Li Yuan didn't appreciate his intervention. I never let those who deceive me off easy. But not today. Today is just a warning. Watching everything unfold, Chairman Ding realized the truth. Just then, a subordinate reported, Chairman, the people from the Qilin Chamber of Commerce escaped. We couldn't catch them. He's the head of the Qilin Chamber of Commerce. After all, did you really think you could catch him so easily? But he's truly predictable, so easily provoked by Gu Xingye, demanding the Qilin Chamber of Commerce, instigating Liao Ming to disrupt the engagement party. Just like that, he's ruined a useful pawn. Gu Xingye has truly impressed me these past few years, defying my arrangements every step of the way. This indecisive waste of space. When did he become a wolf? Lost in thought, he suddenly heard someone call him from behind. It was Li Yuan, who had already left the scene. Uncle Ding, you've been chasing me for so long. You want the Sifang seal, right? Want to cooperate with me? Chairman Ding looked at Li Yuan, his expression unreadable that I want to crush Gu Xingye under my heel. Afterwards, I'll hand over the Sifang seal with both hands. He slowly said, you want my help? Is that it? But in the next second, he burst into almost hysterical laughter. I might have wanted the Sifang seal before, but now that I've practically secured my position as chairman, what difference does it make? Getting rid of you, a major threat, is far more important. The once rival underworld bosses had now become close partners. As it turned out, everything that happened at the wedding was part of their plan. The goal was to allow Li Yuan to successfully approach Ding Yuan, the chairman of the Sifang Chamber of Commerce. Before, when he took over the Chamber of Commerce, he needed the Sifang seal to legitimize his position. But his recent actions against Li Yuan proved that the seal was no longer essential to him. You have to make him continue to fear you or need you. So, Li Yuan deceived him, claiming the Sifang seal also controlled a secret case involving political figures. But the cunning Ding Yuan immediately became suspicious. He then played along, asking Li Yuan to do something for him. At this point, Li Yuan had no choice but to agree in order to achieve her goal. But just as Fan Mao found a clue about this matter, Gu Xingye barged in without any regard for the situation. In the eyes of the public, Gu Xingye was still a treacherous scoundrel. So, after everyone else left, the two continued to argue to avoid suspicion. Only after confirming everyone was gone did Gu Xingye eagerly embrace his wife. Ding Yuan is always suspicious. If I avoided you, he would think we were plotting something. But me coming to argue with you confirms our falling out. Most importantly, it allows us to test how many of his spies are hidden within the Chamber of Commerce. Now that he's received news of me being here, he'll do everything he can to drive a wedge between us, to prevent us from cooperating again. Are you scared? Li Yuan asked teasingly. Scared? Of course I am. I'm scared of losing my wife. Dropping the pretense, Gu Xingye's playful demeanor returned, but Li Yuan's eyes held a hint of uncertainty. Ding Yueying said, I was the one who killed your uncle. Do you really not resent me at all? I used to. But now I know you're not the killer. Just as Li Yuan wanted to continue asking who the killer was, a violent knocking came at the door. Li Yuan also felt the time was about right. Let's go. If we stay any longer, our cover will be blown. Although Gu Xingye was reluctant, he admitted it was indeed time. Then I'll go. Be careful in your cooperation with Ding Yuan. The next second, continuing the act, Li Yuan pushed Gu Xingye out of the room. He was still grumbling. But after being pushed to the ground, Gu Xingye looked up and found that the person knocking was Sheng Qianli. Hello, Yuan. Li Yuan hadn't expected him to come. Why is it you? Why can't it be me? Don't you want to see me? What's this guy doing here? What does he have to do with you? Looking at the suddenly appearing Sheng Qianli, Li Yuan suddenly realized something. Wasn't his timing always a little too coincidental? Thinking about it carefully, it was also suspicious that Sheng Qianli was able to get the recording of Xingye and Ding Yuan. Unaware of Li Yuan's thoughts, the two were still bickering. Hey, you have a fiancé and you're still harassing Yuan. Isn't that low? What's it to you? You played your part saying that line. Enough now. Li Yuan stepped forward to stop their argument. Gu Xingye, we've made ourselves clear. Please leave. Gu Xingye cooperated and left, giving Li Yuan a deep look before he went. After Gu Xingye left, Li Yuan asked Qianli what he was doing there. The thing you asked me to knit is finished. It can be delivered to H now. Li Yuan's memory hadn't fully recovered, and she didn't remember the information about H. But she couldn't reveal that, so she could only pretend to be calm. I'll deal with it when I have time. Qianli was a little puzzled. Isn't there a deadline? Aren't you afraid of being punished for delivering it late? This isn't like you, Li Yuan. Hearing him say this, Li Yuan immediately became alert. So she pretended to be angry and approached Sheng Qianli. You know that, and you still dare to rush me? Who was slow and caused a delay? Gu Xingye's matter is already making me very irritable, so you better shut up. After saying that, she slammed the door in Sheng Qianli's face. Scary. A woman scorned is truly terrifying. After sending Sheng Qianli away, the most urgent task was to figure out who H was. So she found Fan Mao and asked him if he knew anything about H. It turned out that H was actually connected to the underground auction house that Chairman Ding wanted to investigate. This meant that her pharmaceutical company's partner was also intricately linked to Ding Yuan. The once rival gang leaders were now frolicking in the water, oblivious to everything else. Li Yuan got the information about the pharmaceutical company's partner from Fan Mao. Unexpectedly, it was just a phone number. She found a deserted phone booth and made the call. No one answered. Just as she was at a loss, a car stopped in front of the phone booth. Li Yuan then understood. That phone call was just a doorbell. They're pretty quick. Afterwards, she was asked to put on a blindfold and was led by bodyguards to an unfamiliar place. But when she took off the blindfold, she was stunned. What came into view was an extremely sensual scene of debauchery. And the red-haired woman, sitting in the middle, was the boss behind H. She haughtily said to the man at her feet, "Wait for me to greet the guest, then I'll come and deal with you." After she finished speaking, two bodyguards picked up the man and walked out of the room. But as he passed Li Yuan, he suddenly looked up at her with pleading eyes. "Please help me. Get me out of here." Hearing his plea, the red-haired woman seemed a little displeased. "How dare you speak to another woman? You stupid thing. Take him away and feed him to the dogs." Hearing her words, the man immediately knelt down and begged for mercy. "I was wrong. Please spare me. I was wrong." Li Yuan couldn't bear to watch what was happening. She spoke up, asking the red-haired woman's assistant, "What's with the harshness? I was just scaring him. This is a civilized society. Why feed him to the dogs? After all, he was also a customer here before. Just teach him a lesson, break his legs, or something." Li Yuan was shocked. A man tortured like this was actually a customer here? That's right, a businessman just like you. I gave him a deposit, but he couldn't deliver the goods. You certainly can't make that kind of mistake, Li Yuan. Mortgaging yourself to become my pet, right? She then gestured for a servant to bring Li Yuan a glass of wine. Try it. Is this wine still to your liking? The medicine you commissioned is ready. When do you want to pick it up? No rush. Let's have a drink and talk. Li Yuan had just brought the glass to her lips when she smelled something unusual. This wine, that it's drugged. What's wrong? Afraid to drink my wine? Afraid I'll poison you. The red-haired woman blew a puff of smoke in Li Yuan's face. Li Yuan then lost consciousness. When she woke up again, she was in Gu Xingye's arms. "Jiang Huang, what did you do?" Gu Xingye glared furiously at the red-haired woman. "Just a little something to liven things up. What are you making such a fuss about? There's no antidote. Deal with it." Li Yuan, in Gu Xingye's arms, stirred and woke up groggily. "Xingye, I'm so HOTMY body feels strange." Gu Xingye anxiously placed Li Yuan into the cold water. Yuan, does this feel any better? Li Yuan was already losing control. I'm already like this. What are you still pretending for? Gu Xingye. Gu Xingye didn't immediately understand what she meant. Not now. You're not in your right mind. Li Yuan cupped his face. Why are you avoiding this? What are you afraid of? You're the one saying no, yet you're the one kissing me. You're the one who shut me out, yet you're the one holding me here. Why am I completely exposed to you, while you remain aloof and deceive me? You always use these little acts of kindness to win me over, while hiding behind the truth, constantly testing me. Are you that afraid of me? Even now, you don't dare to. What are you if not a useless coward? The word coward completely enraged Gu Xingye. He pushed Li Yuan's probing hand away, and she rolled over, pinning him beneath the water. She impatiently tore open his clothes. Li Yuan, I've been too tolerant of you, which is why you're so arrogant, constantly challenging me. You can't understand me now, but someday you will understand everything I've done. The female boss, in order to rescue the puppy she'd only met once, ended up questioning the male boss's skills. The next morning, the drug wore off, and Li Yuan opened her eyes to see Gu Xingye sleeping peacefully beside her. His unguarded appearance made Li Yuan unable to read him once again. Staring at me like that, oh, you want round two? It turned out Gu Xing had already been awake. It seems I wasn't diligent enough last night, since you woke up so early. Li Yuan, now fully awake, blushed instantly and no need to show off your stamina. The drug's worn off. Use someone and run. You're quite pragmatic, Li Yuan. But Li Yuan ignored his teasing. She only wanted to know who the woman was who had drugged her. She had given her such a big gift, and she wanted to return the favor. But Gu Xingye thought it was too dangerous. You don't even remember anything, and you dare provoke her? Unless you beg me, I won't tell you how to deal with her. Li Yuan was speechless. She just wanted to focus on her work, not flirt. How do you want me to beg? Like this? Like this? Or like this? In the end, Gu Xingye gave in and accompanied her to H's dungeon. Li Yuan kept thinking about the man she'd met briefly the day before. She felt that Jiang Huang seemed to care about him, so she was determined to rescue him. Just as they were about to succeed, the legendary H, along with his subordinate Jiang Huang, arrived on the scene. Unexpectedly, Li Yuan, who had been prepared, wasn't fazed at all. Instead, she revealed H's involvement with Chairman Ding and a certain chief he in arms trafficking. It was H who had instructed the inside man at customs to deceive the soldiers and try to keep the goods for himself. Learning that Li Yuan had solid evidence, H was forced to back down. He asked Li Yuan what she wanted. Her condition was simple. She wanted to take the man with her. H didn't react much to the request, but Gu Xingye was unhappy. Was he really doing this to get back at Jiang Huang, or was he interested in this green tea man? His actions clearly annoyed Jiang Huang. Li Yuan, just you wait. The rescued man thanked Li Yuan profusely. He told her his name was Ling Min and expressed his desire to follow her. This made Gu Xingye even more displeased. Why are you blushing when you're just talking? Not giving him a chance to explain, Gu Xingye turned and pushed him away. Just as the two walked away, a pungent smell filled the air. Before Li Yuan had time to think, she fainted and collapsed on the ground. When she woke up again, she was tied up in front of Jiang Huang. It really is you. Jiang Huang, you're a bit too impatient. Of course, my game can finally begin. How could I not be impatient? I can't wait to see you split open, begging for mercy on your knees. After speaking, Jiang Huang raised the whip in her hand and lashed it fiercely at Li Yuan. But Li Yuan, a veteran of many battles, easily dodged it. Oops, my mistake. I should have tied your legs up too, Jiang Huang said, then relentlessly brought down the whip a second time. But Li Yuan dodged with a flash. This time, it's to get back at me for taking Ling Bing. Then what about the last time you drugged me? You can't just be a mad dog that bites randomly. I just don't like you. Who told you to cooperate with someone I hate? Someone you hate? Who are you talking about? Sheng Qinli, of course. Jiang Huang brought the whip down again. But Li Yuan, taking advantage of the previous conversation, had already untied her hands. She grabbed Jiang Huang's whip. Sorry, I'm the one in charge of the game now. The underworld bosses, once rivals, were now jealous of each other because of a third party. Li Yuan successfully captured Jiang Huang, planning to hand her over to H for an exchange. Just then, Gu Xingye arrived, apologizing for his oversight and promising it wouldn't happen again. This instantly disgusted Jiang Huang. Just like that, Li Yuan successfully completed her task for Ding Yuan. She wanted to probe Ding Yuan about his plans for Gu Xingye, but the old fox chose to remain tight-lipped. Li Yuan returned home empty-handed. Just as she opened the door, she encountered an unexpected guest. Gu Xingye suddenly rushed out and pinned her against the wall. Didn't we agree to see each other less to avoid Ding Yuan's suspicion? We agreed not to see each other in public, not in private. What are you planning to do with Ling Bing now that you've brought her back? You came all this way just for this? Ding Yuan didn't tell me what he plans to do. He's very cautious. I'm planning to feign a new romance to make our breakup more believable. This was a perfectly reasonable plan, but Gu Xingye flatly refused. He pulled Li Yuan into his arms and kissed her again. Your new romantic interest is Ling Bing? That's not happening. Li Yuan completely ignored his provocation. So you've changed fiancés? Maybe I should change fiancés too. Just then, a voice came from outside the door. Miss Li, are you there? I made some tea. Would you like to join me? My new fiancé is here to bring me tea. Well, fiancé, you better leave. But then Gu Xingye suddenly smiled slyly. Then let your new fiancé hear the sounds you make beneath your old fiancé. Gu Xingye then pressed his body against hers. Li Yuan struggled. That you're so eager to see the person outside? You're being naughty. Stop it. I don't like being controlled. Then what do you like? Do you like it when I serve you like this? Li Yuan blushed. Enough is enough. In her panic, she knocked over a cup on the table. The knocking at the door became more urgent. What was that? Miss Li, are you all right? Li Yuan quickly opened the door and told her she was fine, just as she had accidentally bumped the table. Meanwhile, she kept Gu Xingye pinned with her leg. Ling Bing said she had made tea and asked if she could come in and chat with Li Yuan. Li Yuan had no choice but to refuse, saying it was getting late. So Ling Bing then took out an invitation from Ding Yuan, inviting her to a birthday banquet. At this moment, Gu Xingye was being unruly. Li Yuan quickly took the invitation and sent Ling Bing away. She's gone. Let go of me now. I don't want to stop. Your body is more honest than your words. Stop messing around. Let's get down to business. Ding Yuan just said he was going to make a move on you, and now he's throwing a birthday party. What a coincidence. It's probably a trap. Are we going? Of course we're going. How else are we going to continue our plan? So, on the day of the banquet, Li Yuan attended with Ling Bing, seemingly whispering intimately in her ear, but actually instructing her to keep a close eye on everything. But he completely failed to notice the small dog behind him, which had already conjured 2 mushroom clouds above his head. Taking advantage of the fact that no one was around, he pulled Li Yuan into the lounge. Tea, such a crucial time. Why did you bring Ding Yuan here? This is a perfect opportunity to introduce my new partner to everyone. It makes our breakup more convincing. Was it necessary to get so close to him? I think you're deliberately trying to provoke me. Stop smiling at him. Li Yuan was speechless that you're still thinking about these things at a time like this. Yes, it's a matter of life and death. Are you going to deny me even my last meal before I die? The underworld boss, who had always fought alongside him, never expected that the mole sent by his opponent to monitor him was Sheng Qianli. Li Yuan had already become suspicious. Why did Sheng Qianli always appear the moment anything related to Ding Yuan happened? Even that wedding, she learned about it from Sheng Qianli. Until this day, in the basement of Ding Yuan's birthday banquet, she met Liao Ming, who had betrayed her. To save his own life, Liao Ming voluntarily revealed that Sheng Qianli was the mole. Little did he know, Li Yuan had already guessed. Fearing she wouldn't save him because of this, Liao Ming finally confessed to her. I was the one who found the person who framed you for killing Fossil Man for Ding Yuan. He wanted me to silence him afterward, but I hid him. I'm still alive because I'm holding on to this leverage. Save me, and I'll take you to him. This clue made Li Yuan somewhat tempted. After careful consideration, she was about to save him. Just then, gunshots erupted in the main banquet hall. In the urgency of the moment, she had to rush back to the hall. Ling Bing reported to her that Gu Xingye had offered a toast to Ding Yuan, but Ding Yuan suddenly collapsed, accusing Gu Xingye of poisoning him. Then Gu Xingye was chased and escaped. However, Ling Bing saw that Ding Yuan had prepared the wine himself in the kitchen. Is it that same old trick again? Framing Gu Xingye, making him the culprit for murdering Fossil Man, and then eliminating him openly and legitimately. At this point, Gu Xingye was forced to the edge of a cliff by Ding Yuan's men. It seems Ding Yuan still remembers our agreement to hand Gu Xingye over to me alive. But if I wait too long, I'm afraid Ding Yuan's patience will run out. Uncle Ding, you were poisoned, yet you can still chase me all the way here. Truly an eye-opener. Such a clumsy setup. Does he think everyone is a fool? I have to catch you myself to be at ease. But I'd be more at ease if you were dead. After saying that, Bing Yuan shot Gu Xingye. Gu Xingye instantly lost his balance and fell into the water. Hua Juanzi immediately jumped in after him to save him. Seeing Hua Juanzi jump in, Song Luo pretended to save him and followed. But in reality, Li Yuan had arranged for him to quickly move Gu Xingye to safety. Although it deviated slightly from a plan, she hoped they would both be safe. Li Yuan, your old lover and subordinate both died here. You seem very calm. I avenged you. Now it's your turn to hand over the Sifang seal. Li Yuan tried her best to remain calm, with Song Luo there. Even if they fell, they're not necessarily dead. Uncle Ding, why are you in such a hurry? Something as important as the Sifang seal. How could I carry it with me? You're right, I was too hasty. Miss Li Yuan, why don't you come to my house to freshen up, change your clothes, and then slowly tell me about the Sifang seal? Li Yuan was speechless. Why would I go to your house? The Sifang seal isn't there. The next second, Ding Yuan's patience ran out. Li Yuan, don't tell me you're going back on your word. Suddenly, a car drove over. The three who had just fallen into the water were intercepted by Ding Yuan's men. Even the men Li Yuan sent to meet them were all detained. Surprised, Miss Li Yuan? You didn't think I was the kind of villain who wouldn't get his hands dirty, did you? But you hate him so much. Why did you secretly send someone to save him? Could this be a conspiracy between you and Gu Xingye? By this time, Li Yuan was completely enraged. Uncle Ding, if I remember correctly, you're not qualified to ask such questions. How I deal with Gu Xingye is none of anyone else's business, much less yours, Uncle Ding. Our deal was you give me Gu Xingye, and I give you the Sifang seal. But now you've taken upon yourself to hurt Gu Xingye. Can I interpret this as Uncle Ding wanting to break the agreement? These words made Ding Yuan hesitate. Could this really not be her conspiracy? Release the others. Hand Gu Xingye over to me. The deal still stands. Otherwise, I'll consider it a unilateral breach of contract on your part, Uncle Ding. Of course, I'm sincere about the trade, but I'm more curious. How does Miss Li Yuan plan to deal with Gu Xingye? Li Yuan feigned nonchalance, saying she'd imprison him. I can play any game I want, but these are games for us young people. Uncle Ding probably wouldn't understand. Just then, a familiar figure reappeared on the scene. Imprison Gu Xingye? I like that. Come play at my place, Yuan. I have 3 basements with different play styles. You can choose whichever you like. The once rival gang leaders, now reduced to each other's playthings, and the loyal, white-haired follower turned out to be a mole sent to watch her. The sudden appearance of Sheng Qianli disrupted Li Yuan's plan. Qianli, what are you doing here? Following Yuan, of course. If you die, I can get your body for research immediately. Spare me your creepy impulses. Yuan, your words hurt. So, have you decided which basement to put Gu Xingye in? With that, Sheng Qianli turned and winked at Ding Yuan. Although Sheng Qianli's appearance wasn't part of his plan, he figured handing Gu Xingye over to her was no different than keeping him himself. So he nonchalantly let his men hand Gu Xingye over. A while later, Gu Xingye woke up in a dark basement. To avoid arousing Sheng Qianli's suspicion, Li Yuan acted superior. But their ramblings still annoyed Sheng Qianli. Yuan, I went through a lot of trouble to rescue him, not to watch you try to reform him. At the very least, you should give him a branding first. Li Yuan was annoyed, and no need, I have my own plan. But Sheng Qianli still stood at the door, wanting to watch. Fine, I'll see how Yuan wants to play. Li Yuan could only deliberately strike a suggestive pose to disgust her. Now that he's in my hands, I can play however I want, she said, reaching for Gu Xingye's abs. But Gu Xingye, at the worst possible moment, allowed a soft moan. The wound isn't on your stomach. Why are you moaning? She whispered, leaning closer. Cooperate. Gu Xingye reluctantly played along. What do I have to do for you to let me go? Li Yuan then pulled out a small whip. A touch, and you moan. What about this? I went through so much trouble to catch you. Just letting you go like this? Who will I hold accountable for the wedding? So what do you want? To humiliate me like this? Or are you planning to use him to punish me? Sheng Qianli, watching from the side, finally had enough. Are you two arguing or flirting? Can you get to the point? Li Yuan didn't even look at her. Torment, of course, takes time. I can't stand this. Take your time. She slammed the door. But just as Sheng Qianli left, Gu Xingye domineeringly kissed Li Yuan. What's going on? Care to explain this sudden change to fiancé with props? Li Yuan was displeased by the sudden shift in their relationship. Ding Yuan still doesn't have the Sifang seal, and we're still under Sheng Qianli surveillance. Ding Yuan won't be patient for long. He'll probably make a move on me within 2 days. Silence fell. Your man just went through a life-or-death situation. and all you can think about is that old man Ding Yuan? Am I really not worth a second glance? Gu Xingye, is now really the time? Sheng Qianli could come back any minute. Then when is the right time? When I'm dying. Our Yuan Jie is so focused on her career. Didn't expect little puppy Gu to be so romantic. But Gu Xingye felt Wuchik Baba inside. Whether it's gang business or the underlings, anyone is more important than me. What do I have to do for you to notice me waiting for you? Since waiting isn't working, I'll take the initiative, he said, trying to kiss Li Yuan without even changing his bandages. Gu Xingye, are you crazy? You're still injured. But when she looked down, she saw a broken face. A little lower, please. Kiss me, he pleaded, kissing her again, recklessly. Li Yuan, focused on her career, didn't know what Gu Xingye was thinking. She didn't understand why she felt despair in that kiss. Just as she started to succumb, the impatient Sheng Qianli burst in. Yuan, what are you doing? She was stunned by what she W.S.O. Your method of revenge is to pin him down here and kiss him senseless. Yuan, don't tell me you've become the kind of person I hate most. Someone who doesn't keep their word. While Li Yuan was panicking, Gu Xingye slowly moved away from her and sat up. Sheng Qianli, have you been single for too long? Don't you know it's normal for couples trying to reconcile to be a little intimate? Why are you so jealous? Sheng Qianli's expression darkened. What kind of joke are you playing? Me jealous of you? The underworld boss, once her sworn enemy, now willingly dressed as a woman, allowing herself to be toyed with. Li Yuan's current attitude made Sheng Qianli extremely uncomfortable. So, your method of revenge is to corner her here and kiss her senseless? But Gu Xingye just let out a cold laugh and sat up. Why are you always around us? Or are you just naturally a dog who likes to eat dog food? Sheng Qianli almost laughed in anger. How interesting. You're the second person who dares to say that to my face. And the last one who did is now thoroughly soaked in formalin. Before Sheng Qianli could react, Li Yuan launched a flying kick. Is it that glorious to bully a merchant? Yuan, protecting her like this, you haven't forgotten your deal with Ding Yuan and made up with this guy, have you? If Yuan is too soft-hearted to do it, I can help you kill him. With that, Sheng Qianli turned and lunged at Gu Xingye with a scalpel. But Gu Xingye stopped her with a single sentence. You also think she'll go easy on me? If I die just like this, I'd have to thank you. Maybe I'd even become the most special person in her heart. For some reason, these words instantly deflated Sheng Qianli. Yuan, do you like her? Gu Xingye turned and questioned. Tell her you love me. Li Yuan laughed dryly. Are you threatening me? Or do you think you have the right to tell me who I can like? This sentence instantly excited Sheng Qianli. Yes, that's right. This is the Li Yuan I know. Not confused by men, always looking at people like they're trash. But Li Yuan wasn't about to let her off the hook. And you, Sheng Qianli, did I ask you to stick your nose in my business? I don't think much of either of you. Next time you interfere, I'll cut off your ears so you can hear me clearly. Got it. But Sheng Qianli seemed captivated by Li Yuan's sudden outburst. Yuan doesn't like them. Then what kind of person does Yuan like? I don't like those who flaunt their bodies and seduce others. I also don't like those who are injured and still acting flirtatious. These two complaints hit Gu Xingye right where it hurt. So her liking was actually disliking. But Li Yuan continued. The husband I like should be as pretty as a girl, with long hair, willing to be under me without resisting. Pretty, long hair, not resisting. Like a bolt of lightning, Gu Xingye thought of her current appearance. Sheng Qianli, thinking of something unknown, made an excuse about unfinished experiments and turned to leave. Your wound is bleeding. You need to rest and recover. Stay put. I'll find a chance to get you out of here. With that, Li Yuan left without looking back. Sheng Qianli, escaping to the bathroom, breathed heavily, lost in thought. I don't want Yuan to have anything to do with any man. But if the person Yuan likes is me, for some reason, I'm really looking forward to it. Thinking this, Sheng Qianli went to the hospital. She not only brutally tortured and killed Liao Ming, whom Li Yuan had saved, but also captured and tormented Li Yuan's new male favorite. You know I'm not patient. Answer my question, or you die. Li Yuan, upon receiving the news, rushed to the basement in a rage. What question is worth you specifically capturing him to interrogate? Yuan, why are you here? Why did you kill him? He's Yuan's new boyfriend. Isn't that reason enough to kill him? What about Liao Ming? I have nothing to do with him. An old man with barely any hair left. Why kill him? Did you want to kill him yourself? Or did Ding Yuan tell you to? Give me an acceptable reason, or I won't let anyone who betrays me live another second. Sheng Qianli just stared at her blankly, seemingly lost in thought. Yuan cares so much. Is it because I'm important to Yuan? Is a dog that bites its owner considered something important? So to Yuan, I'm just a dog. Does Yuan prefer me playing a puppy, or does she prefer me as a large castrated dog? Either way, Yuan likes me. Neither Gu Xingye nor that legless cripple can compare to me, right? Sheng Qianli didn't understand why Li Yuan would make such a joke. Are you deliberately trying to disgust me? Or do you think I wouldn't dare to make a move? But in the next second, Sheng Qianli stepped closer to her, her eyes filled with dangerous aggression. These two underworld bosses, now locked in a fierce confrontation, were once intimately involved. It turns out that the seemingly invincible Sheng Qianli had a shameful past. Because of the Sheng family's downfall, young Qianli was sold as a commodity. While it appeared to be an ordinary club on the surface, it was actually in the business of organ trafficking. Qianli, who should have been harvested for her organs, fought her way through the organization with her own efforts. And because of this, she transformed from a naive youth into the ruthless killer she is today. After escaping, the first thing Sheng Qianli did was capture her uncle from Manhwa and turn him into an obedient specimen. And when she first met Li Yuan, she captured her and locked her up with the specimen for 10 days. Wow, you're really tough. You were locked up for 10 days and you're still not broken. But when she tried to approach again, Li Yuan, having already freed herself from her chains, slashed at her with a knife. But at that time, how could Li Yuan be a match for Sheng Qianli? Wanted to toy with her like a little mouse. Sheng Qianli deliberately left an opening. Li Yuan quickly seized the opportunity and pinned her down. Haha, although you can still move, I'm quite surprised. But how could I not have any preparations? Like an idiot, just coming right at me. I've changed my mind. How about we cooperate? Not long after, the two became close partners. The expression Yuan had when she pinned me down was really sexy. Now you're pinning me down with the same expression. Yuan, do you want to get closer to me? Li Yuan laughed soundlessly. Are you mistaken about something? My focus has never been on whether you act like a dog or not, but on your relationship with Ding Yuan. I don't like being deceived. Tell me the truth. This is your last chance to confess. You want to know the truth that badly? If Yuan promises to only be with me from now on, I'll tell you, okay? Her flippant attitude angered Li Yuan again that I'm serious. Sheng Qianli, what? Do you think I'm not serious? Your previous close friend, Gu Xingye, has already become your enemy. Your little boyfriend is a crippled waste. Shouldn't I be the next most important person in your heart? What are you hesitating for? As long as you're only with me, I'll tell you the whole truth. At this moment, Gu Xingye was also monitoring their every move. Seeing the scene before him, he gritted his teeth in anger. Just tell me, Yuan, as my closest and most trusted person, you can know all my secrets. All of them. Listening to her disgusting words, Li Yuan's expression was somewhat strange. Be your closest person? Yes, Yuan, are you moved? In the next second, the hand gripping her shoulder moved. With a flip, Li Yuan once again pinned Sheng Qianli to the ground. When did I, Li Yuan, have to sell my soul for information? No one can stop me from getting what I want. After speaking, she stole Sheng Qianli's phone and pointed it at her face. The next second, facial recognition was successful and the phone unlocked. Let me see how much Uncle Ding is paying you to be so loyal to him. Sheng Qianli quickly grabbed her hand. Li Yuan, are you sure you really want to see this? This might be Pandora's box for you. Knowing might not be a good thing. Li Yuan completely ignored her. Whether it's a good thing or not isn't up to you. But when she opened the call log, she saw that Sheng Qianli had been in contact with Hua Shiren. Hua Shiren? Didn't he die 6 months ago? How could he still be in contact with Sheng Qianli? Gu Xingye, who was monitoring them, was also stunned. Is Sheng Qianli really working for Uncle Ding? The once fiercely opposed underworld bosses, now turned into an obedient puppy because of a girl's words. At this moment, Li Yuan and Gu Xingye subordinates were making a deal at the port. But unexpectedly, Ding Yuan appeared halfway. Just as he gave the order to attack, Li Yuan and Gu Xingye arrived with a large group of people. Ding Yuan was stunned. How is this possible? Weren't they locked up in Sheng Qianli's basement? You should be more worried about your own life than about me, Uncle Ding. Seeing the overwhelming numbers against him, Ding Yuan instantly cowered and changed his tune, starting to play the victim Li Yuan. I practically watched you grow up. Not only did you kill the uncle who raised you, but now you want to kill me too. As soon as he finished speaking, Sheng Qianli walked out from behind Li Yuan. Ding Yuan, thinking his savior had arrived, frantically winked at Sheng Qianli. This made Li Yuan laugh. Uncle Ding, you're blinking so much. Are you trying to seduce me? Nonsense. I just got some sand in my eye. Oh, is that so? I thought you were signaling to the mole you planted. But I still have to thank you, Uncle Ding, to lure you into this trap. I've had Sheng Qianli feed you a lot of information over the past 2 weeks. What? How did you know? Sheng Qianli, you dare betray me? Have you forgotten how I rescued you from H like a dog? You're betraying me for a woman? Oh, don't be so dramatic. Haven't I done everything you wanted? I just want you dead. What's wrong with that? By now, Ding Yuan was practically beside himself with rage. Ding Yuan, have been played like a fool by a bunch of kids. If I'm going to die, then we'll all die together. Gu Xingye instantly became tense. Li Yuan, get down. Sheng Qianli also immediately shielded Li Yuan. Just as Ding Yuan's knife was about to fall, Li Yuan quickly raised her gun. Everyone has a gun, but you're all afraid of a man with a knife? We're worried about you. Yuan. What would I do if you died? But Ding Yuan remained fearless. Oh, you really dare kill me? Half of X's power and the fastest smuggling routes are still in my hands. He wasn't given a chance to continue his boasting. The next second, he was shot and fell to the ground. Dying isn't that easy. Sometimes living is much more painful than dying. Li Yuan beckoned behind her. 2 large dogs came over, both obediently responding, then immediately started snarling at each other. She clearly called me. Li Yuan interrupted their childish squabble. Qianli, come here. Pick up the knife. Sheng Qianli's smile was incredibly sweet. What do you want to do, Yuan? Stab him. I want to hear him apologize and beg for forgiveness. All right, no problem. This is my specialty. Screams rang out. Li Yuan immediately noticed Gu Xingye's displeasure. What's wrong? Nothing. He said nothing, but his expression betrayed him. I didn't want you to do it and get your hands dirty. Besides, Qianli is used to this kind of thing. Really, Gu Xingye was easily appeased by his wife's words. After cooperating with Sheng Qianli again, Gu Xingye had been filled with a sense of unease. But he understood that Li Yuan was only doing it for the mission. After all, Sheng Qianli had countless opportunities to kill them in the basement, but didn't. This proved that Ding Yuan was their common enemy. But Sheng Qianli remained tight-lipped about who her real employer was. She kept saying, I can't tell you anything until the appointed time. And now, it seemed that time was fast approaching. As she watched Sheng Qianli torment Ding Yuan, presumably with ketchup, a man in a wheelchair silently arrived. Enough, Qianli. Stop. You'll kill him. Everyone present was shocked to see the newcomer. It was Hua Shiren, the former leader whom everyone knew had been killed by Li Yuan. However, Li Yuan's expression remained unchanged. That I've been waiting for you. You finally appeared. The once rival gang leaders were now reduced to playthings for each other's amusement. Li Yuan finally remembered everything that had happened. Hua Shiren had planned to use his fake death to lure out Ding Yuan. He used Li Yuan, making Gu Xingye believe that Li Yuan had killed him. The person who should have trusted him the most became the eyewitness, further solidifying the belief that Li Yuan was the murderer. But he didn't expect that in the process of pursuing him, he accidentally caused his downfall. This led to the series of events that followed. So this was the truth. Li Yuan finally remembered everything. But what good did it do? Even if her uncle framed her, he was still her benefactor. The indescribable frustration had nowhere to go, and instead, she turned towards the fallen Ding Yuan. If it weren't to protect the old man, why would my uncle have done this to me? But unexpectedly, Hua Shiren stopped her in time. Xiao Yuan, don't be impulsive. Ding Yuan's influence is widespread. Killing him like this could easily cause his gang to lose control. So what if they lose control? We'll just suppress them. The biggest difference between you and me is that I never keep a tiger as a pet. But in the end, she didn't make a move. She turned and left without a backward glance. The 2 men stood there in silence. Li Yuan always kept her word and acted decisively. With the fastest speed and the toughest methods, she wiped out Ding Yuan's influence. Hua Shiren saw all of this. Xingye, do you still not understand why I chose to fake my death? Gu Xingye gritted his teeth. I only know that you used me and hurt Li Yuan. She still hasn't taken me off her blacklist. You're still too sentimental. Do you know why I chose to fake my death through Xiao Yuan's hands instead of yours? Under such extreme conditions, she will grow rapidly and become the new Hua Shuren, capable of controlling the entire underground force. This is a crisis, but also a challenge. Gu Xingye's pupils suddenly dilated. You mean? I know the taste of power is good, but Xingye, my time is running out. For the better development of the organization, will you give your position to her? Because Xiao Yuan is the true successor I have chosen. After hearing Hua Shuren's words, Gu Xingye fell silent. A second later, he raised his head, tears streaming down his face. But I was already planning to give the position back to her. I never wanted power. After winning a battle, Li Yuan went to a bar to drown her sorrows. Nearby, the now couple Hua Junzi and Xiao Luo were inseparable. Li Yuan, in a foul mood, couldn't stand Oh, you two have to flirt right next to me? Don't worry, we're here to keep you company because we're worried you'll be lonely. Don't worry, sis. I'm not the type to hog all the fun. Knowing you're feeling down, I even ordered you a giggles. Xiao Luo, come in. With that, the door to the private room opened. A familiar figure walked in. I'm number 3 for midnight. Pleased to meet you. Seeing the newcomer, Li Yuan practically coughed up a lung. It was Gu Xingye. Seeing this opportunity, Xiao Luo quickly slipped away. Boss, we won't be light bulbs anymore. Enjoy yourselves. After the two left, Gu Xingye let loose. Sister, I'm number 3, Xiao Yi. You can order me to do anything. Li Yuan's interest was piqued. Anything? Then go dance on that pole for me. I don't believe a boss would actually go through with this. But Gu Xingye not only went through with it, he was also quite skilled. Every look was perfectly in place, making one suspect he wasn't a novice. After the dance, he brought Li Yuan a drink, carefully watching her. Dare to drink it? What's there to be afraid of? I've already had quite a bit. Li Yuan picked up the glass and drank it all in one gulp. Gu Xingye nestled into Li Yuan's arms, gently kissing down her collarbone. Just as things were heating up, Li Yuan grabbed his collar. Jiu Xingye, what are you doing? Gu Xingye gave an ambiguous smile. Sister, do you like this roleplay? The once rival gang leaders were now working together side by side. Li Yuan had actually heard the conversation between Hua Shuren and Gu Xingye that day. But I don't know if my uncle was really just training me or if he was using me. It wasn't enough to use me with Hua Shuren. What else do you want from me? What are you talking about, sister? Aren't we only supposed to talk about pleasure today? You won't talk. Then we're done here. Once we leave this place, we're even. We won't bother each other again. These words successfully provoked Gu Xingye, who said, we're even? You want to be even with me? We can't be even. You've never given me what I want. What are you talking about being even? I want you. Are you trying to make me angry on purpose? You know, I don't care about those things. I only like you. I've only liked you since a long, long time ago. Gu Xingye's genuine confession shocked Li Yuan. It made her think back to when they were kids. He had actually confessed his feelings back then, but she never took it seriously. So what? Plenty of people like me. Just because you like me doesn't mean I have to like you back. We're adults. Besides, doesn't Sheng Qinli also say he likes me? He's more handsome and richer than you. Her words, meant to avoid provoking him, instantly had the opposite effect. Gu Xingye, like a fluffy puppy, flew into a small rage and pulled out his phone. He quickly sent out a message to his trusted confidant. Anxious, he pulled Li Yuan along, insisting they go and notarize his assets, proving that most of his property belonged to her. Gu Xingye, are you crazy? You're going out dressed like this? Have you no shame? I'm about to lose my wife. What do I care about shame? Besides, if we go out like this, tomorrow's headlines will be full of our pictures. That's perfect. This way, you'll be deeply bound to me and won't be able to escape. Suddenly being swept up into his arms startled Li Yuan. Hey, put me down. This is enough. If you put me down, I'll agree to be with you. Now, it was Gu Xingye's turn to be flustered. Really? Are you saying we're together, like boyfriend and girlfriend? Having said that, she domineeringly grabbed Gu Xingye and kissed him, muttering, Gu Xingye was still arguing. Not boyfriend, husband. 3 days later, Hua Shuren finally succumbed to his late-stage cancer in hospital. Li Yuan and Gu Xingye, in their new roles as a couple, came to mourn. Everyone wanted to see this legendary old man off on his final journey. But some clueless small fry chose this day to cause trouble. Listen up, everyone here. We're the deceased's Axe Gang. Get your boss, that Gu guy, out here right now. Gu Xingye didn't even look at them. Axe Gang? Never heard of them. Security, throw them out. However, some of these cannon fodder were insistent on courting death. You're their boss? This place belongs to the Axe Gang now. Get lost if you know what's good for you. Seeing this, Li Yuan stepped forward and slapped away the hand pointing at Gu Xingye. If you really want to lose something, then get lost with your little gang. Everyone's watching. Making you come out here alone to deal with this, people who don't know us might think we're having problems. Seeing his wife defending him like this, Gu Xingye's love-struck brain went into overdrive. No problems, we're great. This infuriated the troublemakers. Seriously? You're gonna start flirting right in front of us? That woman must be their gang's mall. And you think you're so great? Completely infatuated with a woman. What a pathetic excuse for a gang leader. As the two were being arrogant, a shot rang out, hitting a vital spot. Next time, I'll shoot your empty heads off. Such accurate marksmanship. Aren't you his woman? Li Yuan smirked. Sorry, I'm a boss too. After getting rid of the riffraff, Li Yuan took Gu Xingye's hand and announced to everyone, from today onwards, I am the new Hua Shirin of the Future Commerce Association. And he is my boyfriend, my future husband, and my only love. Looking at the stunned Gu Xingye, Li Yuan handed him the microphone. Cat got your tongue? Say something. But Gu Xingye, who could no longer contain himself, scooped Li Yuan up into his arms. Sorry, everyone. We have some family matters to attend to.